How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm drinking my rooibos tea. We were safe.
Gross.
Why?
I
Rooibos tea
can't
is so
stand that
good for
stuff.
you. Why?
Nasty.
You
Oh,
should put
gross.
honey in it
Chamomile,
or
rooibos.
something.
No, I just
Fun.
need black. Just, dude, black tea matters.
Black tea matters. It does. It only took me like 3 times to get this right.
It's
Hey,
so annoying, isn't it? You would think in
yeah.
2020. But you know, with racial injustice where it is, like we're still in the 19th century, what can we expect from technology?
Your voice cracked big time, by the way. That was really funny.
You know, we recorded one of these a couple weeks ago, and we decided against releasing it, right? Brad, our illustrious editor, edited it, and it was great. I got the right number of syllables on that. Edited it. That's hard to say.
Edited it. That is hard.
You did it too. Good work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good job. You know, my energy level has really been up and down because of these protests. And I am really on balance encouraged and hopeful based on seeing all the people who have come out. And a number of us are talking about how long do you think this is going to go on? And it's still going on, which is so inspiring.
I know, it's
think.
amazing.
My friend Karen from Cincinnati is saying white suburbia is coming out in Cincinnati. That's what it takes. It takes white suburbia. And because that's where,
Absolutely.
look, that's the majority of the country is still 68% white. And they mostly live in the burbs. So when it starts getting to those areas, Melanie, you and I both grew up in the suburbs outside a city. You know how important that is and how hard it is to get folks like that to go march.
Yeah, no, it's super encouraging. We're very proud that they've been going on. It wasn't just like a one-day thing. It wasn't a one-weekend thing. It's been over 2 weeks now. So it's very encouraging.
You know, we wanted to join, but our biggest issue, of course, is COVID, which is why we started doing these to begin with. We started this series, and it's the first time that news has fallen away, at least into the background, and people are talking about a second wave. I'm like, guys, we're still in the first wave. Like, it's not done yet.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. But I will say in New York, it feels a little bit better because we're in phase 1 right now. The cases have been coming down. And so I think the focus has shifted a lot to this movement and these protests, but we still have to be mindful of everything. No one wants to see a resurgence.
I have been really proud of the South Asian community in terms of coming out with South Asians for Black Lives Matter, some of the videos recorded, some of the posts, some of the podcasts that are happening, I think. And actually what you sent me, the tree, if you want to talk about that a little bit, I thought that was cool too.
Yeah, I saw this really interesting visual of equality to illustrate what equality is versus equality versus equity and justice. So imagine an apple tree, right? That's the system. Imagine kid A and kid B. Now the tree is leaning towards kid A, right? So he is probably going to get more apples, right? That's inequality. Equality is when both of them have been given a ladder to get closer to the tree. The problem is the tree is still skewed this way, so this kid's going to get more of the ladder. Okay, number 3 is equity. Equity is when kid B has been given a couple more legs up on his ladder, so he's closer, he can touch the tree. The problem is the tree is still leaning this way. The apples are still going to come down this way. Justice is when you straighten the tree and you fix the system. And so both of them are on the same playing field and getting the same amount of apples.
You should go on tour with that.
Yeah.
The Giving Tree by Melanie Chandra.
The Giving Tree. I'm going to just plagiarize an Instagram post and a very famous book. So, yeah.
The Stealing Tree.
The Stealing Tree.
Yeah, what is it called when someone steals the whole tree? That's
called the Stealing
They
Tree.
appropriate the tree. Yeah, the Stealing Tree. They appropriate the tree.
You had some really interesting things to say. Actually, one of your interview clips from years ago, right, has been reposted a bunch of times. And I completely agree with you. And I think that South Asians need to finally acknowledge that the freedoms we enjoy in this country are because of the blood, sweat, tears of the Black men and women who came before us and fought and died for the chance, for the opportunity for us to even enter this country. And so, I'm glad that more and more people are seeing that. But wow, how did we miss this for the last few decades? How have we not acknowledged it? How have we not appreciated it?
There's a man named Jonathan Capehart, which I love that name. And I didn't realize, A, that he was Black, and B, that I had seen him on shows before. And he has that standard, the voice we have, right? The standard Midwestern reporter. You don't even think about a race attached to it. Like, are you Indian? Are you white? Are you black? And the woman on there, a white woman, you know how podcasts these days have basically been starting with an interest arouser, something really provocative to begin with. And she's a white woman, and she starts by saying, or they sample it by saying, I don't think white people care about racial inequality. And it just goes in from there. You're like, oh, wow, this isn't even clickbaity. We're just going for it.
Well, that is a hook.
At the end of it, 13. He cries. It's that powerful. I would highly recommend it. Jonathan Capehart, and I'll try to find, we'll link when we put this video out, we'll try to link to the actual video. This woman appeared on CBS's, that was too many syllables, CBS's Justice for All. And the biggest point she made, and I had never thought of it this way before, and you're right, 13th is a great documentary. I keep hearing that. Everybody keeps saying that, to watch that one. And what she said, and to me it's been the most important thing, as I posted on Instagram and Facebook, as you saw today, what have you learned in the last fortnight about racism? This blew me away. And I had heard it referred to in certain ways, but never like this. And she said the biggest problem we encounter with teaching racism is the way we frame it. We frame it like it's an individual, personal, moral failing when it's a systemic failing. And so when you say you did something racist or that's racist, it puts people on the defensive and they go, I'm not racist. And she lists all these reasons people give why they could never be racist. I've been to Canada. I've been to Costa Rica. I had a black roommate in college. Like things that are you're going, what? That doesn't prove anything. And so the fact that she said we have to attack the system and reform the system, I thought was really, really salient in how we move forward.
I completely agree. Someone just recommended Nina DeValeri's documentary on colorism in the South Asian community. So definitely want to check that out. Another one I would recommend to all of you right now is a Netflix documentary called LA-92, which is about the race riots in Los Angeles in 1992 after the Rodney King case. And it is so gut-wrenching and so powerful, and just there's so many parallels to what is happening right now. So in terms of the police brutality and the looting and all of that stuff happening. So I would watch that. I think that's really great. And then for anyone that's a parent out there trying to explain racism to their kid, I have a two-year-old, and we watched the Sesame Street Town Hall on racism, and I thought it was really well done, so I would encourage families to watch that if you haven't already.
It's a journey inward too, right? I mean, we have to be observational, but we have to all be introspective, and we're all part of the racist patriarchy, and it's a spectrum, and that's kind of the point that's been made. It's not enough to just be like, well, I'm not racist. Well, are you anti-racist? A, are you actively fighting, like your tree analogy of pulling the tree down and changing the system, or straightening the tree, I should say? And then B, we still do racist things. We still have racist thoughts because we're growing up in this system. And that's not to blame America. It's the world is racist. And, we always have to not just check your privilege, but you just have to check yourself or you wreck yourself.
Thinking about my role as a mom, how do I, what can I do to make sure my kids, Arya, my kid, continues to stay colorblind, because at this age, she is colorblind. She doesn't she sees colors, but you know what I mean. She doesn't treat anything differently because it's black, white, red, blue, whatever it is. So, I've just kind of been in that state of mind. Like, she's going to see these things in society, and what are the types of conversations I want to have. So, it's really important for me.
Somebody just posted, such beautiful eyes. If people were only eyes, there won't be racism. It's so funny you say that, because highlighted, because I'm reading it on Kindle, it says, beauty, it doesn't matter what you're looking at. It matters who's doing the looking. I think the funniest thing I saw in the last week by far was a meme, right? We talk about short attention spans, and people have recorded great videos like Hassan Minhaj did, John Oliver did, I did, for what it's worth. A lot of people have recorded all these videos. And, but the memes, dude, are so great. And there was one of Tucker Carlson from Fox News, this douchebag, and it was just entitled, When You Meme Yourself. And it was Tucker Carlson on Fox News, and the caption was, what does racism look like? We will stay in touch with you. We'll go ahead and we'll read some of these, and hopefully we'll be able to answer all of these questions by next week. No question.
Everything.
So we'll solve racism.
We'll have it all.